Hello, everyone, and welcome to the D-Pad, where we return for the Super Bowl prediction. Let's predict the Super Bowl, as some may know it, for our 12th consecutive year. I am joined tonight by my co-commentators, Nick Biebel and Jeff Hook. Wave to the cameras.
Hello, everyone.
There's one and there's two. How are you fellas doing tonight?
Doing well. I'm excited for some pretend football.
Like I don't have a quarterback. Thank you. I like to be reminded of it.
So, fellas, this is a rare occasion for us here at Let's Predict the Super Bowl. It's a time where the three of us can come together where everyone is sad simultaneously. Jeff, Please explain what makes you so sad about the Super Bowl and why it is personally your fault.
Well, I'm sad about the Super Bowl because the Patriots aren't in it, and it's probably my fault because I've done something very naughty or rude, and that, luck rubbed off on the Patriots. So it caused us to make bad decisions for 2 or 3 years in a row.
In all fairness to you, nothing you have done could be in any capacity more evil than the man running the team, Belichick. So your karma was just dropped in the bucket at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
And now, Nick, you as well. Could you please explain to us why you're sad as especially the winner of the Broken Wall Films Fantasy Football League for the 2022-2023 season and why your team not being in the Super Bowl is also personally your fault?
Yes, because I, questioned and, felt real confident at the beginning of the season that we definitely have enough quarterbacks. We 1,000%. There will definitely be no chance in any way, at any point, we will run out of quarterbacks. We've signed so many.
There's so many. It's virtually impossible.
So, talked too big of a game, and apparently you can run out of quarterbacks.
Well, we take off to the kickoff. The Chiefs versus the Eagles in here, Super Bowl 57. And let's get down to the action, shall we?
Yeah, off the bat, personally, in my own opinion, for predicting said Super Bowl, I thought that was going to get picked off for a sec. I think the Eagles will take it. So that's been my prediction in the actual game itself. In the NES gridiron, as opposed to the NFL, it could be very different, though.
Biebel, how about you?
Tend to reside on Eagles are probably the more complete team, but it's hard to bet against Pat Mahomes, and I'm as good of a team as the Eagles are. They never really got tested in the playoffs. The Giants were the Giants, and the Niners were without a lot.
Mostly in the hospital.
Yeah, they were mostly injured. So it's gonna be interesting to see. And now the ball is in the hands of those Eagles, and they're doing what they're probably gonna do in the game and hand the ball off and run it right down the Chiefs' throats, which has been, right. Yeah. Chris Jones has been a big stopper, but it's also going to be their secondary has been a problem.
First down on the run.
Yeah.
Yep.
And taking their shots on a weak secondary is going to be what the Eagles need to do to win this game, and that's kind of what they're doing in the Tecmo Bowl, taking shots.
Oh my goodness! Eagles breaking away.
Oh my God!
Ooh, strong start from Philadelphia.
Juked 2 men out of their athletic shoes.
Now, it wouldn't be a Super Bowl without its share of trivia. I'm sure that both of you
got him.
A big sack for Mr. Gay.
Mm-hmm. Once again, I think that is something that we're going to be seeing a lot of. It's going to be a lot of sacks.
Excellent.
I think a lot of sacks, really.
We're all here for some graphic sacks.
Oh my gosh.
2 huge sacks right there.
Giant, massive. They want their hands all over it. As for trivia, this is actually going to be the first Super Bowl featuring 2 black starting quarterbacks. I don't know if you guys are aware of that.
That is a touchdown to A.J. Brown.
And not just that, but
Brown has been deadly all season and will probably be deadly this Sunday.
These will be the 2 youngest quarterbacks to ever face off in a Super Bowl at 27 and 24.
Which I believe that fact would have been true no matter what team came out of the NFC and or AFC Championship games.
It's a very good chance of that, yes.
Yeah, all the quarterbacks aside from Tom Brady are young.
Yeah,
Tom Brady is approximately the age of...
The oldest quarterback was Dak Prescott at 28, so it's a very young class of quarterbacks who made the playoffs. Oh, yeah. And now we have Pat Mahomes doing what Pat Mahomes does.
Goodness.
Ooh, looks chased him down, though.
we have a shootout.
Yeah, I mean the nightmare scenario for the Chiefs in the real game or in this would be their offense fizzling out. They rely on a lot of big plays. They tend to be splashy.
My goodness!
Oh God!
Ooh, a
And not
fumble
doing
inside
this.
the 10. That's gonna hurt.
Against this Eagles defense, that's the one thing they are opportunistic. Will get that ball.
Absolutely. All right, so I heard you said you had some trivia for us. Was that the extent of it, or is
That
there
was about
anything
the
else?
extent of it. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's also we have. I'm sure that you're aware that the Kelsey brothers are facing off in this Super Bowl. One on each team. They are brothers, as well as Andy
We
Reid.
mentioned that they are on YouTube, so we might get some notifications there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
I look forward to
copyright
them both
flag. Who can
commenting on this
say?
video? Yeah.
I'm actually a huge fan of both of theirs, so
Get there. Oh.
Also, Andy Reid having been head coach of both teams.
Yeah.
But the biggest danger of this, if the Eagles win, are we prepared for emboldened Philly
Ooh,
fans?
beautiful.
And that is another big touchdown for the Eagles.
No one
Oh,
anywhere
my
near.
God.
They are having the idea that A.J. Brown will go off, and I think if the Eagles win, that is probably going to be true.
Gonna be the case. Yeah.
A.J. Brown will be, which is a player they signed this past offseason, which, yeah, probably going to be one of the best offseason signings.
Yeah. Talk about
Yeah.
immediate return on investment.
Yeah,
Now
the Titans absolutely cratered, and the Eagles have soared. I hated doing that. It didn't feel good. It felt wrong.
We are about 1/3 of the way through the game. Do you think that the Chiefs are going to be able to pull this one back?
Well, I mean, they did it to my Niners several years ago, so yeah, it's hard to say Pat Mahomes is out of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wide open on the left.
I
Yeah,
would
Pat
agree
Mahomes.
that
Another
the
first
Chiefs
down.
have the capacity to come back, but the Eagles' defense is stout and good enough that if they open up a big lead, they can make life very, very difficult by managing the clock well against the Chiefs.
You know, I hate to be this reductive about the Chiefs' pass strategy, but it seems like they're really interested in Mahomes to hell air. In the words of one William Willard Smith.
Well, that was actually probably going to be a good strategy for the game. The Eagles have a pretty insane secondary, so kind of leaning on those little dump-off passes to their running back are probably going to be pretty clutch to move down the field and just keep some of those. Oh, and once again, it's time for sacks.
Oh my
no.
goodness. Couldn't bring it through the red zone. Looks like they're going
I
for the
too
field
will
goal.
intentionally ignore that terrible pun and say that yes, the quick running game and quick outs are going to be a weapon for Mahomes, especially if he's getting hounded by a lot of blitzes.
He's searching
I
for
think
receivers,
both
and
teams
he's
are probably
finally
gonna be heavy.
there.
I think it's just going to be that front four for the Eagles. Although I do think the Chiefs are probably going to run something pretty blitz heavy and really try to stress Jalen Hurts.
Ooh,
Yeah.
messy pass.
I think they're gonna ask. The Chiefs are gonna ask a lot of Jalen Hurts, which yeah, he has proven all this entire season he can do it. So the Eagles seem quite okay with that happening.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, the
As he's
Chiefs.
proven with another big throw to A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is in the first half is already absolutely having a monster game.
The
Chiefs had a very interesting strategy there insofar as their secondary players, instead of going anywhere near the Eagles players, all ran to the sidelines and then jumped simultaneously out of bounds. Not sure where that defensive package comes from, but I think they might want to pull that one out of their playbook.
I'm gonna say in all of our years covering the Tecmo Bowl, this one is the one that feels
goes
the most accurate, and it includes a Harrison Butker. Oh wait, no, that was the Eagles miss. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one feels the most accurate to like a potential the game might feel like this.
Yes. Oh, it
Not
very
a
well
full
may
back
go this way.
side.
It's worth saying that as of last year, as of Super Bowl 56, our Let's Predict the Super Bowl series has become more accurate than not at predicting the winner
before
of
that
that year's big game.
Travis Kelce almost got loose at the end of the half to make it.
Would have been a
All right.
huge shift in momentum right there.
So halftime, gentlemen, how are we feeling about the game so far?
Well, I'll go first if you don't mind. I think this is somewhat like what will actually happen. I would be very surprised if the Chiefs didn't get a touchdown in the first half of the game. But the Eagles' defense is going to keep this a lower scoring affair for the Chiefs. I don't think this Super Bowl is going to be 45-52 or something like that. But again, Mahomes and the Chiefs are dangerous. So if they really put it together, they can come back still.
I could say that this seems like something very possible because it seems very similar to that Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl, which this Eagles team is built in a very similar structure to that Niners team, where it's a very good defense. Their offense runs through their run game, and they can get some quick strikes to get an early lead. But the Chiefs apparently have proven that they are a team built to almost let that lead build up and then come back on it and really be a problem. And that's been the Pat Mahomes method. How repeatable is it? Well, for most people, hard. For Pat Mahomes, apparently routine. So we will see what happens.
And to add to the 49ers comparisons, the Eagles getting into the Super Bowl did have an unexpectedly strong showing against the 49ers, a pretty one-sided game. We could see a repeat of it against the Chiefs here in Super Bowl 57. But of course, Pat Mahomes is himself a pretty serious powerhouse, so you can't count him out just yet. But
I'm thinking this. While the score looks similar to that 49ers Eagles halftime, how they got there is very different. That felt like a rout, and the Niners defense was just holding on, and then there was no hope for offense. Where it's the Chiefs, Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid, Kelsey. Every weapon that he's got at his disposal, that offense is never out of it.
Well, unfortunately, if we're looking at critical mistakes in that first half, I think you can't do much worse than the fumble right at the end zone for the Chiefs. That could have been a game changer for where we'd be right now.
There's one of those just game-changing turnovers you see in the red zone, like just about every Super Bowl. And can you recover? Well,
we'll have to see in the second half. A 14-10 would be a lot safer and a lot nicer, but we'll have to see if they can pull it off in the second half. Let's go to the halftime show.
Great pregame for the Rihanna concert we're all about to watch.
Oh, yeah, she looks stunning.
Oh, my God. Rihanna came in on a...
Absolutely incredible. Everyone is willing to cheer exactly once. That's really...
Oh, no, there's two ghosts on the field.
Those are the ghosts of the last two halftime shows.
How does that woman floating?
Well, that's the weekend.
Rihanna's magic. What she does.
All right, and we're into the second half.
Woman.
Oh,
uh-oh, this is not
surprising breakaway on the
Chiefs.
return. Well, Eagles getting the ball back right away after the half is really not helping Kansas City out too much here. Throw it away.
Also, this game is being quite realistic and showing that pocket was incredible because this Eagles team might have the best offensive line in the league. Yeah,
it is really incredible.
Huge lanes for Jalen Hurts.
Oh my God!
And he's fast.
Unbelievable.
Dude. He's very fast.
Now, it should be pointed out, I had mentioned before, our predictions through this system have gotten better over the years. We've actually gotten the last 5 games in a row correctly predicted. The Eagles in Super Bowl 52, the Patriots in 53.
One more touchdown for Dallas.
Another one for
Goedert.
Eagles.
Boy.
My goodness.
At this rate, Jalen Hurts is going to be your Super Bowl MVP, although potentially maybe A.J. Brown. Some absolutely crazy performances by this Eagles offense.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Looking pretty good.
Now, this will also be the third appearance by these Kansas City Chiefs in 4 Super Bowls, winning their first and losing their second. So this is going to be a pretty strong indicator of any shot at a dynastic run. Though, if the Eagles are coming out this strong, it might stop them a bit short.
It's also just the appreciation that this is only Pat Mahomes' 5th year as a starter, and he has been to the Super Bowl 3 times and the AFC Championship 5 times.
A meteoric rise. I would be stunned if anyone had done it before. In fact, I'm relatively sure even Tom Brady hadn't done it before.
Not for their first 5 years, but yeah, this is the one potential. It's how the Bucs beat the Chiefs was if you can get through that O line, which that Eagles D line is proving to do in the game and
bobbled, nearly
in
recovered.
the game. That's how you beat the Chiefs is you don't allow Mahomes to do anything.
Yeah, I mean it's a truism in football in general, but it's fun to score touchdowns, but defense wins championships.
Yeah.
You know, if you can hold the Chiefs back like the imaginary Eagles are doing here, you're golden.
All right, ball is back in the Eagles' possession.
And another absolute laser to getting Devonta Smith involved. He is spreading it around.
The Chiefs secondary
meteor.
The Chiefs secondary needs to wake up if they want any hope of turning this around. This is looking pretty definitive and one-sided at this point. Spoke too soon.
You know what? In all fairness, let's think deep strategy here. A potential touchdown there makes it 28-3, and there's worry around that. You got to play prevent defense around that 28-3.
Yeah, 28-3.
Almost a good move. A good strategy, outside the box thinking from Sirianni there. I like it.
Yes, clearly that's what happened.
Ooh, runs it right. Ooh, incredible decision on that pass.
He threw to the man who was engaged in dancing.
Actively grappling.
Well,
but...
that is a Kelsey, and you know.
Oh, all the time in the world.
Yep.
Oh,
man.
Wide open.
And there is just nothing but green grass. Surprised someone caught the man.
Yeah.
I told the final quarter, Philadelphia is greasing up the poles and trying to make sure that getting their horses ready for punching. It's almost equals the clock.
There's one thing that's
break up.
There's a lot of abusive ranchers in the NFL is what we're getting at.
Well, there's one thing that's true about Philadelphia sports, and it's that when the team wins, it's a danger to the city's local infrastructure.
Eagles recovery. Another fumble inside the 25.
Yeah. If the Eagles win, it's a danger to their local city infrastructure, and if they lose, it's a danger to their local city infrastructure. So basically, good luck, City of Philadelphia.
Whenever the city of Philadelphia wins any championship, Donovan McNabb has to personally come out and apologize for there being sports in the city in the first place. So
yes. I have to say that the only news article that I've ever read about somebody literally eating horse shit was about a celebration from a fan after a Philly win.
Did they beat the Broncos?
And that is how this virtual game is going, folks. We are talking about eating feces. Yeah. Welcome to a blowout in the Super Bowl.
My
folks.
goodness.
They're warming up.
Now they're just taking deep shots for the love of the game.
Oh, why not? At this point, it's a victory lap.
They're warming up the buses and the horse turds for Philadelphia right now.
Thrown into the middle of all of that, still
one way to describe what kind of beatdown this is. It hurts.
Oop. Got it through.
Got one more in him?
Ooh, not quite.
That looked like he was thrown into a cheap bag there.
It looked pretty secure, but apparently not.
Just overcooked it just a little bit.
Oh
my God.
You got to pull those in.
Throwing some dangerous passes here with a 21-3 lead. They're, it's
such a gimme for a pick.
The showboating, but
such a gimme for a pick, but the secondary just has no hands today.
Gainwell is doing what his name says. He is gaining well.
Oh my God.
Oh, and the Chiefs are already dipping into the timeouts.
But I think it's
I don't think the timeouts are going to do them too much good at this point of the game, unfortunately. And there comes a point where it starts to feel...
the Eagles are trying to give him every opportunity to come back.
I'm saying, man, they keep throwing the ball and not just running it.
It seems like they want to put...
They
want to take the hex off that 28-3 score.
Start up the bus.
Oh, beautiful.
27-3
it's beautiful to see love between a man and another man in a helmet on a field in front of millions of spectators.
Yes, I hope they get married after the game.
All right, there is 28-3. It's only a minute 11 left, so I don't even think Mahomes has that much magic, but we saw him get a touch. We saw him get points in 13 seconds, so...
They may have to break into some of the black sections of the NFL rulebook and enact things like the quadra touchdown and the field gun. If they want to have any chance of coming back here.
I was assuming that they would have to verify whether or not wormholes were allowed this season. I know they've been working on the rulebook in that regard.
With time dilation, they may have enough time.
The CBA is out as to whether or not superpowers are allowed, so the light speed pass is up for debate.
Yes, and they're not gonna fucking do it by running.
It's mostly on the negative. A lot of the people like the idea, but they just will not allow Jerry Jones to have access to that kind of power. So it's mostly
field.
No, you can't dare have this Jerry Jones.
Amazingly, it's one of the few things that the players and the coaches, the players and the owners collectively agreed on is that Jerry Jones deserves no additional power.
Going to go off for one last play.
I was kind of hoping he was going to take it to the house.
Have it.
Well,
the 28-3 champion Philadelphia Eagles.
A consistent game from the Eagles, and unfortunately also from the Chiefs. So what do we think of this final score? Eagles 28, Chiefs 3.
I think the Chiefs are going to put up more points. I think this offense. I think because when they got blown out by the Bucs, they were a much more injured team. The Chiefs are coming in a lot. Their O-line is not as battered as they were. So Pat Mahomes will have the time to, do what he does. The Eagles putting up 28. Yeah, I could see a performance like this out of Hurts and A.J. Brown, of him throwing like 3 touchdowns, 1 maybe silly pick, A.J. Brown doing really well. But I could see the Chiefs. It's going to be probably something like the Chiefs maybe like Eagles 28, Chiefs something like 31 if they win, 24 if they lose.
Okay.
I'd agree that. Oh, should I go?
Which would you stake as the likelier outcome?
I'm gonna say Eagles 31-28.
Okay, Jeff.
I also think that the Chiefs are going to put up a couple more points than 3, because their offense is good enough. Andy Reid is a competent coach, and the team is pretty stacked, across the board. I don't think they're quite as complete as the Eagles, but they're a good enough team that you can slow an offense down, but I don't think you can stop an offense like the Chiefs, as our NES Eagles did today. I think a lot of it's going to come down to, obviously, the performance of either of the quarterbacks. Both Mahomes and Hurts have the ability to do lots of different things, both on their feet and with, huge passing. I still think the Chiefs are going to be back a little bit, so I would say my estimate would be maybe Eagles 27, Chiefs 17. I don't think it'll be quite as close as other people do.
I think I'm more or less in the same ballpark as Jeff on this one. I think it's going to be a slightly higher scoring game overall. I agree with points that both of you have made. I think my prediction for this would probably be Eagles 35, Chiefs 24. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game. It's going to be a little bit more separated. I think there's going to be a strong push at the end for the Chiefs to bring it back, but as we've seen in a lot of these Super Bowls, that's when the biggest mistakes happen, when you're the most desperate for that win. And as we've seen before, so again, this prediction series has been correct the last 5 times in a row, so we'll have to see if we can go 6 in a row if the Eagles win, and if not, it'll break that streak.
Trust the video you just watched, and none of the banter we've had in the past few minutes about what our predictions are.
Exactly. What the hell do we know?
Yeah, listen to Tecmo Bowl.
We've gotten a little bit better with our predictions. Actually, we've had a few pretty close calls with our scores. I don't think any of us have gotten it perfectly right yet, but we've gotten pretty close.
We've been within 50 points of both of the scores every time.
That's pretty accurate, all things considered. So good. I think I'm feeling pretty good about it. Any closing thoughts before we wrap this up?
I won the fantasy football league, so. Already.
I took a giant L in my fantasy football league, so looking forward to football that I don't have to care about or feel sad because of.
I went 10-1 for my first 11 games, which I've never done before. 2 of my losses were specifically to Nick, and then in the playoffs, Nick the second of those was Nick beating me in the playoffs the game before he won it all, and I lost my next game as well to just crash and burn into 4th place after literally being in first place for the entire season up until that point.
So you went 10-1 and then completely collapsed? We call that a Vikings.
Ooh.
I bet you guys had so much fun in the fantasy football playoffs. Maybe one day I'll make it.
Maybe. It can happen to anyone. I went 10-1 and then lost every remaining game of the regular season and was still in first place for the whole time. So it could literally happen to anyone.
Yeah, it was a lot of scrapping in the middle because I went in like you had a much better record. I was just like middle of the pack and just riding off Eckler as hard as I could, and he just killed it in the playoffs.
Yep. Some unfortunate injury luck and some wild quarterback and tight end just days off. Just taking it easy. But that's the dice we roll.
My quarterback carousel took me Trey Lance, Jimmy G, Matt Ryan, and ended on Brock Purdy. And
Nice.
The Brock Purdy one ended too. So
nice.
Good God.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that's it from all of us here at the D-Pad. We'll have to see how the big game goes, and we'll catch you next time around. See you later.